Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Ridwan from Sultan Idris Education University. Welcome to our exploration of utilitarianism theory from an ethical perspective. Today, we'll delve into the core principles of utilitarianism and examine its implications for moral reasoning in the business environment. Utilitarianism, developed by philosophers Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, is a consequentialist ethical theory that focuses on the outcomes of actions. It posits that the morality of an action is determined by its ability to produce the greatest good for the greatest number of people. This framework seeks to maximize utility, often defined in terms of happiness or pleasure, while minimizing pain and suffering. At the core of utilitarianism is the greatest happiness principle, which states that an action is morally right if it results in the greatest amount of happiness for the greatest number of individuals. Jeremy Bentham emphasized the quantitative aspect of happiness, while John Stuart Mill introduced a qualitative dimension, distinguishing between higher intellectual and moral pleasures. There are two main variants of utilitarianism: act utilitarianism and rule utilitarianism. Act utilitarianism assesses each individual action based on its immediate consequences, while rule utilitarianism suggests that the morality of an action depends on whether it conforms to a rule that, if universally followed, would lead to the greatest good. Now let's examine how major religious traditions critique utilitarianism theory. In Islam, morality is rooted in divine commandments rather than outcomes. The focus is on adherence to God's will and the intentions behind actions, regardless of the consequences. Utilitarianism's emphasis on ends rather than means conflicts with the Islamic emphasis on absolute moral duties. Christian ethics prioritize moral absolutes derived from Scripture, emphasizing the inherent value of each individual and the importance of following God's commandments. Utilitarianism's potential to justify intrinsically immoral acts based on outcomes is a point of contention for many Christians. Buddhism stresses intention and moral development as part of the path to enlightenment. While utilitarianism aligns with reducing suffering, it may overlook the deeper spiritual aspects of ethical behavior. From a Buddhist standpoint, true ethical behavior springs from compassion and wisdom, cultivated through mindful practices. Hinduism introduces a complex framework of duty, action, and liberation, emphasizing the righteousness inherent in performing one's duty, regardless of outcomes. Utilitarianism's narrow focus on consequences contrasts with Hindu ethics, which prioritize duty and spiritual development. In conclusion, utilitarianism theory offers valuable insights into the consequences of actions, but it must be integrated thoughtfully within broader ethical and spiritual frameworks. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of utilitarianism theory.